What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Mab. I just came to talk, about this whole situation with George Floyd. Going on the theme of my last video. If you don't know, George Floyd was a black man that was killed. And it doesn't matter if he was black or white, but he was black. Killed by an officer who sat senselessly and basically murdered him on TV, on camera. Just literally murdered the guy. And it has sparked outrage and protests and civil unrest. And I think the reaction to the civil unrest is a very good look into the difference between how racists see it. Not even racists, just classes. Like, suburban people and ghetto people, we see the world completely different, right? I grew up in a low income area, right? So when I see a lot of things, and I have my take on a lot of things, it's different. It's gonna be completely different. And my wife, she grew up in a higher suburban area. Both of us are black, but the difference in the situation is that when you look at my wife, she's more inclined to see everything, and her dad was a cop as well. So it's like she sees things different than I do. We both understand it. And she's also a prosecutor. So it's funny because we see the world different. We see the world completely different, just in a way that we even talk about these situations. Like, when I was getting ready to go to sleep, she showed me the videos of them dumping and blowing up cars and stuff like that, and she's like, what does this prove? Like, what does this do? And I said to her, I'm like, dude, when somebody punches you right in the face and you jump up and punch them back, what does it actually do? And I was like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything but help them feel what you're feeling. You know what I mean? So it's like punching someone back literally serves no purpose. It does not erase what they did to you. It does not stop that punch from hurting you the way that it hurt you. It doesn't, but you still do it because it's an emotional reaction. But it's like when And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of these idiots that are stealing liquor and freaking TVs and breaking into stores. People gotta realize some people are opportunists too. They're not always associated. Just because something happens during a protest, it does not mean the person who's doing is a protester. You get what I'm saying? Some people are opportunists. They're just out there to steal. You know what I'm saying? But they're the ones who get the most run. They're the ones that are all over the TV. Not the people who show up and actually protest and then leave before nighttime. These people are left. You know what I'm saying? The people who are protesting, they leave once the sun goes down. Most of them. Not all of them, no, but most of them do. And when you're sitting up there and you're taking these situations and you're highlighting these idiots, it brings more opportunists out because they realize, look, I can go get some free stuff. So, But that's the way it works. You know what I mean? The vast majority of the people are not violent. The vast majority of those people are not blowing stuff up, or the world, or that whole place would be in flames. Okay? They're isolated incidents with a bunch of idiots who do idiotic things. Are they right? Are some of these people doing this out of pure anger? Of course they are. I mean, you as an African American, you cannot understand how it feels to watch someone who life is important, who has a family. I don't see him as a black man. I see him as a man. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of white people who saw him as a man as well. That's not saying that that's racially exclusive. But what I'm saying is, if as a black man, to watch someone get killed in the way that Ahmaud Arbery was killed, to see somebody killed in the way that this guy was killed, there's there's an understanding of a deep-seated pain that you don't actually have to address until you see yourself, someone who is basically seen as a lower human being because of their skin color. Now, am I saying that skin color was integral in this situation? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that skin color was integral in this situation, but what ends up happening to African Americans is that we tend to get the short side of the stick. Now, this leads me to my bigger argument, right? People love to say, and this is what really makes me annoyed about white people and why it leads to people rioting and losing their junk, right? White people love, not white people, idiots love, because this is white people, black, and sell out blacks, racist whites, sell out blacks, sell out Latinos, sell out Asians. It does not matter. Idiots tend to use this. Well, you know there are more white people killed by cops than blacks, so therefore, why it affects us more. It does. That's funny, because there are more whites on welfare, but yet the face of welfare are African Americans. There are more whites who commit violent crimes. Yet the face of violent crime is black people. There are more white people who commit crimes in general. Murder, they're way more than us. Yet the face of murder, crime, people who look like me. Odd, right? Odd. That shit never works when you guys are talking about negative shit that you don't like. Then it's a percentage. That's when they go to breaking shit down to percentage. Oh, well, if you break it down in percentage in relation to the population. Oh, okay, so now we're breaking it down in relation to the population. But when it comes to white people, white cops killing black people, then it's just all about how many in general. Like, cut the bullshit. You know good and well your stat is nothing but a smoke screen. You know good and damn well if black people are fucking fifth of a population, and that's probably lower than that, we're in relation to the white population, we're small. Right? A third or so. So, I mean, it probably high. Like I said, I don't have the actual number, but I know we're nothing in comparison to the white population. So, it's going to take a whole lot of African Americans being killed in general. That means killed. That means they have to die. It does not have anything to do with police brutality in which people don't die. That's just how many people actually die. So they have to actually die to be considered wrong. And if you have any type of understanding of police brutality, they make sure not to kill people, because they know once they die, then it becomes a murder charge. If they just beat them up, most of the time, police officers will get away with it as long as the person does not die, because they can just say the person was resisting arrest. And it's so hard to prosecute a cop when he says that someone was being difficult or that this person was resisting arrest, because there's no way to disprove that a person was resisting arrest, because there is no standard of proof. There's a wide berth of understanding. You can consider someone doing this resisting arrest. So, killing should not be the parameter first. We talking about police brutality. We talking about police isolation, focusing on black African Americans. It's obvious there's no comparison, right? Even if you want to throw out that bullshit stat that more white people are killed by the cops, as if it somehow changes the narrative. It doesn't change the narrative. There should be more you, because there are way more of you. And we're not even talking about unarmed. So guess what? There are a lot of crazy ass black people in the world that deserve to be shot. There's a lot of crazy ass white people in the world that deserve to be shot. So stop coming to me with this this stupid stat as if it disproves anything. It doesn't disprove anything at all. You are still wrong. And just because there's probably more white people that were killed that should have been killed. When you break down to unarmed, killed, there's nowhere in the world that a population that is as small as the African American population in relation to the white should have as many unarmed deaths as they have a year, right? That means there is a what does it show you? Anybody who does any type of has any type of understanding, let them understand what I'm saying. What does it show you when people are constantly being killed because there is a perceived danger? If people are being killed because of perceived danger, then that somehow shows that the person who killed them did not kill that person because of who they were. They killed them because who they thought they were. And who they thought they were was largely based on the color of their skin and or what they had on and what culture it represented. Right? If you were wearing something that would be seen as urban, you're probably going to be seen as dangerous. If you're wearing something, why? Because urban is exclusive to the African American community. It's just facts. You know what I mean? It's just facts. There's obviously a racial discrimination problem in America when it comes to policing and in a lot of other situations as well. But where the focus of this discussion is whether or not it happens in policing and whether or not the fact that white Americans are more likely to be killed by. There's more white Americans who have been killed by cops. That somehow it just proves that cops are racially profiling, committing police brutality, and all types of shit on African Americans. But anyways, as I said before, if you're not, like I said before, if you're gonna come up and step up and say that black people shouldn't be the face of police brutality because there are more white people killed, then we got to start changing a lot of these faces, because we're the face of everything negative that you don't like. Everything negative that you don't like, we're the face of. And all the things negative that you care about, or that you that you want to argue we shouldn't get any protection, or there shouldn't be any change, are always shit that are always things that affect us more than you. But anyways, I just want to say that I hope we get justice, and it's not we, because I'm not George Floyd. I hope his family gets justice. I'm just an African American. I'm not George Floyd. And his justice is not my justice. If he doesn't get justice, then it's not going to be the same thing as for his children, his wife, and people of that nature. That's not going to be that. So I hope for his friends and family that they get justice, because I have nothing to do with it. And I think too often that's what ends up happening. People make it a selfish thing where they start thinking about themselves. It's not about y'all. So they want this to be a proving ground. So then the man's family ends up not getting justice because they start shooting for outrageous stuff like the whole police department being fired and all this other type of stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to say that, y'all. Please comment. Let me know what you think about these protests and whether or not you agree with them or you don't. So let me know. Holler at me. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you. Bye.